Hello, and welcome to Connecting Jewish Grandparents, the Grand Plan podcast. I am thrilled you're here for another week, another look at connecting the weekly Torah portion to our lives as people, as grandparents. This week's Torah portion is Yitro, which contains in it the Aseret Hadibrot. Without going too deep into that, I will translate it simply as the Ten Commandments. I don't really translate, it doesn't literally. Wait, I said I wasn't going down that path. But here you probably think, okay, Ten Commandments, come on, everybody abides by those, no big deal. And it is easier to commit to these 10 than all 613 commandments in the Torah. If you start at the bottom of the list of the 10 commandments, you think, okay, number 10, don't covet. Okay, mostly like I get a little jealous, but that's not quite the same as coveting. So no problem. I'm doing fine with that. And then bear false witness. Like, I would never bear false witness in court. Like, how would I even come to that situation? I'm mostly fine. Do not steal. I mean, that's maybe a little harder, but Rashi says that's don't kidnap. And okay, we're not into that area. Not when you took two cookies, you're only supposed to take one. Okay, so do not steal, whatever. Do not commit adultery. Hopefully, we have nothing to debate on here. Do not murder. Also, we should be doing just fine. Okay, so far, we're doing great. And if we want to flip the other way around and start at number one, I am the Almighty who took you out of Egypt. Okay, there's like really not a whole lot to question here. You should have no other gods. Okay, are we victims of idolatry? Not victims. Or, are we committing idolatry? Have we made and graven images? Again, you could argue, well, we are the way we treat our phones or fashion or whatever. But no, we can go with those more as addiction. Those are really not idolatry. You don't think that your phone is the almighty no matter how much you are holding it in your hand and using it. Okay. The place that I really want to get to is the fifth. The fifth of the Ten Commandments, Kibud Av Ve'em. Maybe it's phrased as Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha lema'an. I'll just give it to you in English. Honor your father and your mother, that you may live long on the land that Hashem is giving you. Okay? Honor your parents. And here I feel we have a lot more to unpack than do not commit murder, which is pretty binary. Okay, now you might be thinking, is there really a lot to unpack here, Sharona? Like, what do you mean there's a lot to unpack? I was good. I honored my parents. This is, what you might be thinking. It's not so easy for me. Maybe your parents are no longer alive, so you think, well, I acknowledge their Azkara, their yurtzeit, their Meldado, and I really do honor their memory. Okay, that's wonderful. And if they're still alive, hopefully you are able to honor them and appreciate them. But I want to put it out there. Honor is not always easy. I'm going to say it again because maybe you didn't hear me. Honor is not easy. Families are not perfect. And this, as we said, is number five. It sits at this incredible bridge between the first of the commandments, which are Ben Adam Lemakom. It is between a person and the Almighty, their creator, the divine. To after this, that all of the rest of the mitzvot are Ben Adam lechavero, man to man. And this arch, this bridge, this connector is honoring the person, the people in your life that are as close to the divine as possible. The humans that brought you into this world in partnership with the divine. And that's how that connection is made. It's the bridge between loving God and loving people. And the word kaved or kibud or honor, it's interesting. It's the same word as kaved, which means heavy. This is both we need to be treating it with a great deal of weight and respect, okay, hence and it is a hard weight to hold. Okay. I hope I've made it clear that, at least in my mind, this is not easy. And you know what? If it is easy for you, I would love to hear more about that. I would love to get inspiration for how this can be made easier. But at this moment, I want to shift the focus on not, well, because I said before, are we thinking about how you are honoring your parents? But I want to flip that slightly to you as the parent. Now, you might be taking some time to think, are my children honoring me? Right? Am I the grandparent being honored in the right way by my offspring? Now, this is something that I explore in coaching and would be happy to explore with you in a coaching call. So check the show notes. Join me. We can explore that. But in this platform, I want to flip that on its head and ask the important question. Am I, the grandparent, living in a way that models honor? We'd like to think that honor just happens naturally. I deserve it, so I get it. I'm the parent. I should be honored. But people also should live in a way that honors others so they receive honor. So, some of these things that we should be embodying is respecting boundaries. We respect others' boundaries, they respect ours, there is honor. Speaking with kindness, owning your own mistakes. And I will say that at every life stage, these are challenging. And maybe the hardest one for grandparents is allowing their children and grandchildren to be who they are. Honoring them teaches them honor, and it helps grandparents really become the teachers of honor, right? We said we're flipping this on its head. The original assumption would be I, the grandparent, deserve to be honored as the parent and as the grandparent. And yes, you do deserve to be honored. I don't want to diminish that at all. But I do want to make it clear that honoring is hard. And the more we can facilitate that, and the better we can model that, the better we can do to help others be living their best lives. You're living yours and they're living theirs. And when you're doing this, grandchildren can absorb how adults speak to one another. You're modeling that ideal relationship that they can embody later. You're showing them how their elders carry themselves, which they will do as they get older, and how differences and disagreements are handled. You are modeling honor And in this way, you are teaching it. You're not lecturing it, you're showing it. In Pirkei Avot, it talks about the importance of honor. And it says that the person who gives honor to others is the one who is the most honored. And so that's how we have to give it to receive it. Again, I want you to be honored deeply and beautifully by your family, and that should happen without anything. But the more that you are able to model it and hold your head high and be an honorable person, the more your children can honor you, and the more your grandchildren will honor and value and respect you. I said at the very beginning that the end of this pasuk, this phrase in the Torah, right, is you're honoring your father and mother that you may endure on the land, that you may be occupying this space. Now, they say that it means that you are guaranteed, this is debatable, but that it is a longer life is given the more you honor up. The more you honor your parents, the longer your life will be. So you think, well, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, it could, and it could just be that that's what God gives you. But it also is because of what you're modeling. The more that you respect your parents and your children see that, then the more your children and your grandchildren are able to help you as you age because it's what they've seen work. So that modeling is both a commandment, I guess, and a gift. That modeling sets generation to generation care and love and support, which leads to not guaranteed longevity, but support during our times of struggle and sickness. This idea of honor and how we live it, it's big and it's lofty and it's aspirational to be living that life at each moment. So I want us to take it to really practical. Let's come up with one behavior that invites closeness. Not in this moment. Take some time to reflect on it. You turn off the podcast. Take some time to think. What is one behavior that I can work on that invites closeness between me, the grandparent, and at least one of my offspring or their spouses, and or at least one of my grandchildren? Okay. So I said a lot of ones, but the idea is one behavior that invites closeness. That's the first thing. One habit that models respect. That's the second thing. And the third is one way to show honor downward, not just to expect it upward. All right, so I'm going to say those three again because those are the three things that I would love for you to take on this week and moving forward. One behavior that invites closeness, one habit that models respect, and one way to show honor downward to your children-in-laws, and to your grandchildren, not just expecting to receive that honor. And I guess all of this, those three, are part of a much bigger question. And maybe it's the question that I'm always asking indirectly in what is the legacy you want to leave. And that is, what kind of ancestor do I want to be remembered as? What role does my honor play in that? And I said this is really lofty and aspirational. It didn't get into the Ten Commandments by accident. Just as important as to not take another life, it is that important to be honoring and to be honored. And if this is challenging, I know that it is, and I would love to help you in this journey. So please sign up for a free coaching call. Start with me in a journey of really leaving that legacy that you have the potential to do. I know you can. You're amazing. And I guess if you're listening to this before to be shot, which you're probably not, but I would love for you to at last week's to find out ways to practically be having an exciting Tu B'Shvat this year, to be connecting with your grandchildren in meaningful ways. And in that, we're also starting a grand circle, an active group of people in conjunction with Chaim Mitzvah of grandparents to get together and connect and socialize and learn from one another and learn from Jewish text. So check that out in the show notes. You deserve to be honored. You are a wonderful person. Have a great week.